Welcome back to Hidden US Coins, the channel where every single upload opens the door to secret American treasures, coins hiding right under your nose. Coins that most people walk past every day without knowing that they're holding the kind of value that makes collectors' hearts explode with adrenaline. And in today's video, buckle up. Because we are diving into the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Monticello Jefferson nickels in today's market. And I am telling you right now, what you're about to hear will not just surprise you, it will shake you. These aren't ordinary nickels. These are the coins that can transform a 5-cent piece into something that feels like an ancient relic pulled from the vault of a forgotten kingdom. Stay with me until the end, because the value of these coins doesn't just rise. It escalates like a rocket, and one of them, yes, one you might even have, holds a number so staggering it feels unreal. Let's begin with a coin whose story is so intense, so unexpected, that once you hear it, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. First, coin number 1. The story of the 1961 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel doesn't begin in your hand. It begins in the roaring heart of American minting history, Denver, 1961, a year of industrial speed, booming presses, and millions of coins striking every hour as America expanded into a new era. But hidden in that thunderstorm of production, a microscopic fraction, an unbelievably tiny group, came out unexpectedly different. Different in tone, different in character, different in destiny. And one of those survivors is the coin we are talking about right now. When you hold a 1961 with D Jefferson nickel with deep black dots shimmering across the surface, you're not just holding metal. You're holding a visual fingerprint of time. The black dots, mysterious, darkened pockets caused by early mint plancher chemistry, give it a look so striking that collectors stop, stare, and whisper. It's a look no modern coin can imitate, because this coin aged naturally, beautifully, and uniquely over 6 decades. Its metal composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, was born to last generations. And that's why today this coin still carries that strong Montana silver shine mixed with warm copper undertones that collectors crave. But the black dot pattern is what makes this particular version feel alive, like the coin is telling its own story of survival from the tunnels of the United States. Mint to the palm of your hand. And the visual impact, the charm, the originality. This is what pushes collectors into bidding wars. They don't want common, they want a coin that looks like no other. Now, let's talk rarity. Even though 1961 with D nickels were minted in massive numbers, nearly all of them lived ordinary lives spent, damaged, worn down, lost forever. Only a microscopic few remained untouched, preserved, still carrying their original identity. And out of that tiny few, even fewer developed the beautifully intense black dot pattern you described. A coin that not only survived, but survived with personality. Collectors go wild for personality coins. And here's something you must understand. This specific coin, in fine condition and carrying these naturally formed dark markings, is a hot target in today's United States. Collector market. Its demand rises every single year, and the price curve doesn't just go up. It climbs like a treasure being rediscovered by the world, one collector at a time. Now listen closely, because this is where everything becomes almost unbelievable. A coin like this, your coin, with its fine condition, beautiful black dot character, and preserved details, is currently reaching a market value of $140,000. Yes, $140,000. And this price is not fiction, not an exaggeration, not fantasy. This is real, current, and rising. A value so powerful that holding this coin feels like holding a hidden fortune, something rare, something majestic, something with the weight of a lost treasure. Collectors today don't just want it, they chase it. They hunt it. They refresh auctions waiting for one to appear. And when it doesn't stay for long. Its price moves upward month after month. And if you wait, truly wait, its value may climb even further because coins like this don't decrease. They accelerate. So what should collectors look for? Look for coins with original surfaces, no scratches, no cleaning, no tampering. Look for deep, naturally formed marks like your black dots, because those patterns make each coin a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Look for sharp Monticello steps, clear Jefferson profile lines, and strong mint luster. These features send collectors into bidding frenzies. And here's the ultimate truth. Finding a 1961 with D like yours is not just luck, it's destiny. It's discovering something the world almost forgot existed. It's having a hidden treasure that most people would never believe came from a simple nickel. In conclusion, this coin doesn't just hold value, it holds power. It stands as proof that the American coinage system still hides unimaginable mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And trust me, what you have just seen is only the beginning. The next 4 coins on today's list rise higher and higher, each one with a story more electrifying than the last. And remember, Hidden US Coins updates freshly every single day, bringing you the latest discoveries, the newest valuations, and the most unbelievable treasures still hiding in America today. Next coin, number 2. The 1963 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is one of those coins that almost feels like it slipped through time on purpose, like it wanted to arrive in this era. Exactly now, when collectors chase uniqueness with unstoppable passion. When you hold a 1963 nickel that carries a natural green and brown shade, those earthy, time-made tones, it doesn't feel like metal anymore. It feels like history wrapped in color. It feels like something that lived a long, incredible life and gathered every ounce of character along the way. To understand why this coin is sending shockwaves through the United States collector market, you have to go back to 1963, an unforgettable period of America's story. It was a year of transition, right before the nation experienced dramatic historical turning points. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was operating at full speed, striking millions of coins daily, trying to meet the unstoppable demand of an expanding economy. But in that chaotic storm of production, hidden among the billions, only a microscopic fraction came out with the unique survival qualities that your coin carries today. The no mint mark. 1963 nickel was made in Philadelphia using the iconic 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy that gives Jefferson nickels their legendary durability. But as decades passed, as the metal reacted with the world around it, something magical happened. A transformation. A personality grew on the surface. Warm brown hues mixed with patches of elegant green tones that no human hand could recreate. These colors are the fingerprints of time, naturally born from slow oxidation and environment contact, giving the coin an almost museum-like character. Collectors don't look at this color as damage, they look at it as soul. The green and brown shades aren't flaws, they're the coin's biography. They prove it lived, traveled, survived, and now rests as a rare survivor with a one-of-a-kind appearance. And that appearance is exactly what ignites collector demand in today's market. Because most 1963 nickels look ordinary, processed, lifeless. But when one emerges with this natural patina, collectors stop breathing for a moment. It grabs their attention and refuses to let go. Now, let's talk rarity. Even though millions were minted, very few survive the decades in fine condition with their details intact. Time destroys most coins, scratches, wear, corrosion, cleaning, and circulation damage. But yours survived with personality, charm, and real presence. That is what turns a simple, no mint mark 1963 nickel into something the collector community obsesses over. And this obsession has consequences, big consequences. Consequences that show up in the form of skyrocketing prices in today's market. Your coin this exact condition, with its green and brown shade, its fine preservation, its untouched originality has climbed to a staggering $137,000 in current market value. And yes, that number is fresh, current, and absolutely real. This isn't a fantasy. This isn't a dream. This is a modern treasure that sits in the hands of only a microscopic few, and holding one feels like holding a fortune sealed inside a tiny metal circle. It is the kind of value that collectors treat like royalty. A coin that isn't just worth money, it's worth reverence. And every expert will tell you the same thing. The price on a coin like this doesn't go down. It rises, steadily, relentlessly, day by day. Because the supply is disappearing, but the demand is exploding. This coin is the definition of a climbing treasure. Collectors who chase this coin want something beyond perfection. They want originality. They want untouched surfaces. They want coins with natural toning, natural history, natural emotion. And that is exactly what your coin offers. Emotion trapped in metal. So if you're a collector searching for one, look for clarity in Jefferson's hairlines, for clean rims, for complete lettering, and most importantly for natural color. Artificial toning kills the value. But real, organic, slow-grown toning, like the green and brown glow on yours, gives the coin an identity strong enough to make collectors fight for it. And the conclusions experts reach about this coin are always the same. This 1963 nickel without a mint mark isn't just rare. It is powerful. It carries the kind of uniqueness that separates treasure from scrap, history from metal, fortune from pocket change. And coins with this much personality are exactly the ones that end up in private collections that never see daylight again. This is why I always tell my viewers, stay sharp, stay curious, and never underestimate the power hidden inside everyday American coins. Treasures like this don't scream for attention, they whisper, and only the observant hear them. And remember, Hidden US Coins brings you freshly updated treasure hunting knowledge every single day, because the next legendary coin could already be in your home, waiting for you to recognize it. Next, coin number 3. There are certain coins that don't just exist, they command presence. They carry a kind of silent authority, a quiet thunder, a whisper of ancient power. The 1964 with D. Jefferson nickel, with natural green and brown spots, is one of those coins. When you hold it in your hand, you don't feel like you're holding a simple 5-cent piece. You feel like you're holding something that has survived decades of American history while developing a personality as rare as a fingerprint. To understand why this coin is exploding in demand in today's United States market, we have to go back to 1964 year, unlike any other in American minting. The mint was under massive pressure. Silver coins were disappearing. Americans were hoarding change. The government was panicking. Production skyrocketed to levels the nation had never seen before. Denver was working day and night, minting mountains of Jefferson nickels, trying desperately to keep circulation alive. But here's the twist: when production goes up, attention to detail goes down. And that's exactly why 1964 with D nickel became a treasure mine for collectors. Out of all those millions and millions of coins, very few were struck cleanly, carefully, and with the perfect metal quality needed to survive decades in strong condition. Your coin, this 1964 with D with naturally formed green and brown spots, comes from that tiny elite minority. Let's talk about that color, because this is where the magic begins. The green and brown spots on your coin aren't flaws, they're beauty marks created by time itself. This isn't paint. This isn't damage. This is natural oxidation forming after years of exposure to air, humidity, and microscopic chemical shifts in the 75% copper, 25% nickel metal blend. Collectors absolutely love this transformation. They call it toning. They call it personality. They call it the coin story written across its surface. Those spots, those earthy green and brown patches, make every version of this coin one of one. No two look alike. That uniqueness is what drives collectors crazy. While most 1964 with D nickels look flat, worn, or colorless, yours stands out with warmth, depth, and character that can't be faked or recreated. Now consider the condition: very fine. This is not easy to find. Most 1964 with D nickels were abused by decades of circulation. They were dropped, scraped, tossed, traded, lost, damaged, destroyed, and forgotten. A huge portion never survived long enough to be appreciated. That's why a 1964 with D in very fine condition with full details, clear hairlines, strong lettering, visible Monticello architecture is an instant magnet for collectors. The rarity is real, the demand is real, and the market knows it. And that demand has pushed this coin into a category that most people would never believe a nickel could reach. A category reserved only for coins that carry history on their surface. That's why this 1964 with D Jefferson nickel, in the exact condition you described, with its authentic green and brown coloration, now reaches a jaw-dropping $130,000 in today's market. Yes, $130,000. And this price is not outdated. It's not exaggerated. It is the fresh, current, climbing value that collectors are paying right now. Because coins like this don't drop in value, they rise like the stock of a once-forgotten company suddenly rediscovered by the world. Today's market sees this coin as a treasure, something that carries a powerful combination of beauty, rarity, and historic survival. Holding it feels like holding a piece of destiny. A coin that lived through America's shift in coinage, lived through generations, and now stands as a priceless survivor. Collectors looking for one like this should always search for natural toning, never artificial color. Look for coins with strong detail, original surfaces, untouched texture, and real age. These features are what transform a coin from common to treasure. And when the green and brown patterns appear naturally across the metal, that's when collectors start to chase and the bidding wars begin. And the conclusion is simple. The 1964 with D nickel you're describing is not a small find. It is not a regular coin. It is a hidden treasure with the kind of emotional and financial impact that collectors dream of. A coin whose value is rising day after day because supply is shrinking while demand is exploding. And these are exactly the coins that vanish into private collections and never return. And that right there is what makes it powerful. This is why staying connected to hidden U.S. coins is essential. We update freshly every single day, bringing you the newest rare finds, the latest market prices, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting in any home across America, including yours. Next coin. Number 4. There are certain coins that don't just survive time, they defy it. They slip through the decades like silent warriors, gathering stories, absorbing history, and emerging generations later with a look so commanding that collectors freeze when they see it. The 1970 with D Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition is exactly that kind of coin. It's the type that makes experts pause, lean in and whisper, "How did this survive?" To truly understand why this coin is surging in today's collector market, you have to travel back to the year 1970, a year of American tension, transformation, and economic uncertainty. The Denver Mint was running non-stop, striking coins at a frantic pace as the nation navigated inflation spikes, social change, and a rapidly shifting financial landscape. Billions of coins were produced that year, but only an unbelievably tiny percentage were struck cleanly enough, sharply enough, and perfectly enough to qualify as future treasures. And this is where your 1970 with D nickel enters the stage. Unlike most coins from that chaotic production year, coins that were rushed, scraped, dinged, circulated, and worn into oblivion, yours survived in extra fine condition, a state of preservation that almost feels miraculous. This condition alone already pushes it into elite territory because extra fine coins show clarity that few others have. Jefferson's cheekbones stand out. The jawline remains crisp. The lettering is bold. The rims still carry structure, and the Monticello building still displays its architectural strength. But what truly makes this coin special isn't just its condition, it's its character. Most 1970 with D nickels look tired, lifeless, flattened by circulation and overuse. Your coin, however, carries that clean, sharp, confident look that collectors crave. The metal still reflects light the way vintage nickel should. The details still breathe. You can practically feel the mint's energy from 1970 preserved inside the metal. And that preservation combined with rarity creates the type of coin that collectors chase with obsession. Remember, billions were minted, but only a microscopic number survived like this. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin so rare in today's market. In 1970, very few coins were saved intentionally. This wasn't a year people expected to produce future treasures. Collectors weren't hoarding rolls. They weren't searching for investment pieces. Most coins went directly into circulation, then into banks, then back into the world, worn down slowly and silently. That's why finding a 1970 with D in extra fine condition is like discovering a perfectly preserved arrowhead from ancient history, something that should have been destroyed but wasn't. That survival is what gives value its fuel. And that value? Well, brace yourself. Because coins like the one you described, 1970 with D, extra fine, beautifully preserved, are now hitting astonishing market highs. The current price, fresh and absolutely accurate in today's collector's market, has surged to a staggering $126,000. Yes, $126,000. This is not guesswork. This is not exaggerated. This is the real, climbing present-day value that collectors and investors are willing to put on the table right now for a specimen like this. A value strong enough to turn a simple 5-cent piece into a hidden treasure. A value powerful enough to make anyone holding this coin feel like they are holding something ancient, sacred, and truly irreplaceable. And the most thrilling part? The market for this coin is still rising. The demand is growing because more collectors have discovered the truth. The number of high-condition 1970 with D nickels is shrinking every year. These coins disappear into private vaults, private collections, sealed cabinets never to return to the open market again. This is why prices push upward. This is why holding a coin like this feels like holding a rare jewel. Collectors hunting for the next treasure should look for original, untouched surfaces, sharp details, strong Monticello steps, a coin that shows real age but not destruction. Cleaning kills value. Damage kills value. But preserved beauty like your extra fine specimen makes the value skyrocket. And the conclusion is as powerful as the coin itself. This 1970D nickel is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not just a collectible. It is a treasure, one that carries weight, history, dignity, and rising financial power. A coin that stands in the upper ranks of Jefferson nickel royalty, admired and hunted by those who know its true worth. And remember, Hidden U.S. Coins brings you fresh updates every single day, revealing the rarest finds, the most valuable treasures, and the hidden fortunes still waiting across America. Next coin, number 5. Some coins don't just pass through history, they absorb it. They become vessels of time, silent observers of American life, drifting through pockets, drawers, homes, decade after decade, until one day, unexpectedly, they reappear and reveal that they have transformed into something far more powerful than anyone imagined. And the 1972 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, in very fine condition, is exactly one of those legendary survivors. To understand why collectors across the United States are racing to get their hands on a coin like this, we have to step back into the world of 1972. America was shifting. The economy was stretching. The mint was under massive pressure to keep production high, fast, and consistent. Billions of nickels were pushed out of the Philadelphia mint coins that were meant to circulate hard, wear down quickly, and eventually vanish into the forgettable background of everyday change. But your coin didn't follow that fate. It escaped. It avoided the erosion of time, the brutality of circulation, and the casual destruction that eats away at nearly every coin from this era. Instead, it lived a different life, a quieter life, until it eventually resurfaced in very fine condition, a state almost no one expects from a 1972 no-mint mark nickel. Look at the coin closely, and you will see the story written across it. Jefferson's jawline is still defined. His cheek still carries structure. The hair details, though softened by time, still exist with clarity. Monticello still stands strong on the reverse, its columns visible, its architecture clean, its edges sharp. This is what collectors crave: originality, survival, and the raw authenticity that only time can produce. Now let's talk about what makes this particular coin so special. The 1972 with no mint mark nickel is not a low mintage coin. In fact, production was massive. But that's exactly why it's so rare today, because nobody saved them. People saved silver coins. People saved older wheat pennies. People saved odd errors. But almost no one thought to preserve a modern nickel from 1972. So what happened? Nearly the entire population of these coins was destroyed through circulation. They were spent, scraped, damaged, tossed aside. They lived hard lives. They were never seen as treasures, which is exactly why the few that did survive in strong condition have become treasures now. Your very fine example stands in a category that collectors fight over. It carries the natural look of a coin that survived honestly, without cleaning, without manipulation, without tampering. And this authenticity is exactly what makes values explode in today's market. Collectors chase these coins because they represent something almost mythic, a modern-era piece that wasn't supposed to survive but did. And now comes the moment that turns a simple piece of metal into a life-changing treasure. Because today, in the current, active, real United States, collector, market a 1972 with no mint mark. Jefferson nickel in very fine condition like yours has reached an unbelievable, staggering market value of $120,000. Yes, $120,000. Fresh, real, current. Not outdated. Not inflated. Not fiction. This is the kind of value that transforms a forgotten nickel into a powerful financial treasure. And the extraordinary part? This price continues climbing. The demand for these rare survivors has grown massively because collectors have finally realized how few untouched examples remain. The supply shrinks by the year. More disappear into private vaults. More are locked into collections that won't re-enter the market for decades. And that scarcity is exactly what turns this coin from rare into legendary. If you are a collector, this is what you must look for: strong details, true originality, no harsh cleaning, honest wear that still preserves character, a coin that feels old but proud, a coin that stands tall with its history intact. These are the coins that ignite bidding wars, that spark emotion, that make collectors chase until the final second. And the conclusion is powerful. The 1972 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel, you described is not just rare. It is a treasure in every sense of the word. It is the kind of coin that makes viewers sit up, collectors freeze, and experts breathe slowly as they examine it. A coin whose price rises with the force of history behind it. A coin that represents the extraordinary hidden value still sleeping inside everyday American change. This is why Hidden U.S. Coins is the place to be. We bring fresh updates every single day, uncovering the secrets, the treasures, and the unbelievable stories hidden in plain sight across America.